Okay, this is just a project I've been looking at that I want to do in my car. 98 Honda Civic DX. So this I took out of a Maxima. Can't remember what year. But the clock looked kind of good. I was walking through the junkyard and I looked over at the Maxima. And I just said, I want that. I want to put that in my car. So I stuck my hand in there, ripped apart the dashboard, and pried it out. Or pulled it out. But there's the harness part that was on it. And I just pulled it out. So, alright. So this got cut out of here. I don't think y'all need to know exactly, where it comes out from. It's not like you're going to be plugging it up to an existing harness in your car. So, this is why I try to find out what these wires go to and how do they light up this and how do they work. First of all, at the top of your head you could see there's a red one. Let me untangle this. Okay. There's a red one and a black one. Everybody know what red is? Everybody know what black is. So that's simple. Positive and negative. These two, we do not know what they do or what they're for. So how I try to figure that out is open up this and there's a one side. These have some the pins in them. The one that actually presses to change the clock time, minutes and hours. This is the clock. It has a light in here. So if it has a light, I'm believing that one of these wires or two of these wires is for it. But let's go down deep and try to find that out. I'm taking out these screws back here. I'm trying to find out how do we illuminate this clock. Because it did not come out of our car, so what makes it illuminate? How do you illuminate this? There's mechanisms in there. Can't go too close because I know it gets kind of like unfocused. So I'll stay out this far. So that's the thing. That's the board right here. Negative, positive on this side. Now the way I try to figure out what it does is I look at the board. One copper line coming from here to there. And another copper line coming from here to there. And it stops right there. Okay, you can see that. Okay. Right there. So now, I want to figure out which one is positive, which one is negative. There's only two going to this bulb, and a bulb only has positive and negative, unless it's a tail light. And I have 3, 4 ignition, with the brake switch and all that stuff. But it only has 2 on this. So I watch this one here, and I watch it run all the way through the wires and comes over this side, right here. So I'll flip the board upside down and see where that is. So if it's here, and I flip the board, it's going to be right here. Excuse me. What's the closest one to that? Negative. So if that's negative, obviously we know which one the other one is. But just to make sure, we follow this wire. This wire goes all the way up to here. Right here. Can't see that good, but okay. Right here it stops. So you follow that copper line all the way up to here. Now you flip the board upside down, and it comes up underneath, way underneath here, which y'all cannot really see right now, but I can. But it's like up in there, and it's connected to this positive. It comes right through. It has a copper line going right through there. I don't know if y'all can see that. It goes right through underneath there, underneath the diode. And that's how I know this one is positive. Because it's connected right here. Right here. So, positive, negative. And they're actually next to each other, which I didn't know that. I didn't want to plug it up and blow something. Because it's a pretty nice clock. So, the green is negative, brown is positive. Let's test the theory. I have a bunch of wires here. And I have a battery right behind me, or right behind the camera. Some alligator clips. I'm just going to improvise. Now you want to see a ghetto tree that what I did. Okay. Right there's my positive connection. And right there's my negative connection. And there's the car it's going to go into. Okay. Let's test it and see which wire is really what wire. I might have to time lapse a couple just to make sure. Y'all see the time moving. But okay. This is positive. Positive going to positive. Move that away. Negative alligator clip goes on the negative wire. Move that out the way. Let's time lapse and see if that works. Okay. Now let's test the other two wires, which I think which one is positive. Brown one is positive, the red. Brown one is positive, and the green one is negative. So I'm going to try and stick this wire in somehow, so that way I don't have to hold two of them, and I can actually hold the clock as well. So I'll try to stick that in there, which I can't really do. So I'm just going to use my hands. Hold these two. Positive is brown, and negative is green. Okay, something is not connected properly. It might be one of my connections up there. Yes. Let's see if these two are connected. Nope, not connected. So the brown is positive. Can't do it with two hands. Can't hold it up and do this at the same time. So I'll do it and try to hold it up so y'all can see. And there I got a pinky up. And the green one is positive. No, brown one is positive. Green one is negative. Let's see. Voila. See it? So the green is over here. And the brown one is in my hand. So brown, and what was up? Yeah, I know his wire's all in the way. I'm sorry. And the green is positive. See, off, on. Now you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna wire it like this. All right, so you know where this belongs, right in here. And just took a Dremel and shaved around a little bit. Probably shaved a little bit too much. I wanted it snugged in there, but you know how oval shaped stuffs are. You know, pretty much that's how I got so far. All the wiring is at the bottom here, and try to get some screws and see if I could put some screws in here. 1, 2. See if that holds it good enough. Because all you need to do is just hold it enough to press these two buttons. That's about it. And for it to rattle, you know. For it not to rattle, sorry. But yeah, we'll get to work on that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I got the screws in there. 2 screws. I try to make sure it's black screws so it kind of matches the surroundings. Even though you can still see it, yes, it's not a perfect job. Yes, I could make it better by making a template in the back, a black template, and putting it over here so it blocks up all the holes. Yes, I could do that. Am I? At this moment, no. I really came into the car to fix up some wires in my stereo system. Looks too much like a rat's nest up there. That's the only reason why I got in here. Normally I would have left this project for a long time. Probably never do it. Who knows? But I'm here right now, so I was like, I'll just do it. So as you see, I could press the buttons. So I could change things, you know, the time, whatever, without it, you know, moving or the vibration. It's not that bad. It's a little bit bad, but not that bad. only because I broke some of the plastic on the top that holds the screen into place with the back with the circuit board. But so far so good. I like it. Yes, I had something previous here. I had a proximity alarm sensor and had to screw it in here, so I have 2 holes there already. But those 2 holes can't do anything. It cannot hold onto this clock. But these 2 bottom ones could, and that's pretty much all I needed. So I'm going to try and wire everything up down at the bottom here, fix up my rat's nest. And after I fix up my rat's nest, then I'll try and hook these things up to something, and we'll see how that works. Yes, the proximity alarm is here. Every time I move my hand, it will sense it, and it will go off. But anyway, yeah, see y'all in a little bit. Alright, so I'm down to the wiring now. Ignore everything else. On the harness, the main harness for the car, obviously this is a Honda Civic, a DX model, 98. The wiring for this, the yellow is always the constant power from the battery. Always constant, never off. So the yellow is always constant on this side of the harness. This is aftermarket, so I'm not going to say yellow. Okay, the main color from the harness of the vehicle is white and blue. It says white and blue, always constant, always on. That's the main color that's coming out of the vehicle. Whoever installed this before had cut it off, and they plugged the radio right up to it, the radio harness, and I didn't like that. So I had to buy one from the factory, or buy one aftermarket, and hook it back up so that way I could take my radio harness off and put it back on whenever I feel like it. Okay, so as I said, the blue and white is always constant. If you're looking on the aftermarket, one that comes behind your radio is always going to be the yellow one. That's why this one is yellow over here. So the yellow goes into, make sure it's clear enough for you to see. The yellow one goes into the white and blue. Kind of close, the focus is not that good, but you can see that. And since that one is always constant, I put the power for the clock. The power wire I put for the clock is straight into constant, so that way the clock will always be moving and not only come on when I start the vehicle, because then every time I start the vehicle I'll have to keep programming the time, which I don't want to do. And just to show you that it works, let me show you real quick. In my ground, I put my ground right here. So that's my ground. This is my constant. The other one is emulant, to emulate the light, well, for the light, pretty much. So whenever this touch anything positive, is going to turn on. What I'm going to plug this one up to is the radio ignition, which is the red wire. The red wire on the aftermarket side. But on the factory side, it's yellow with a red stripe. This is the one that's actually coming from the vehicle. Yellow with a red stripe is always the trigger wire. But the constant one is, as I said again, white with a thin blue stripe is always constant. Yellow and red is the trigger. White with the blue thin stripe is always constant. Okay, so I'm going to hook this one up to that, and the light will turn on. Right now I'm just, excuse my the way I'm saying it, but I'm just going to get a rig it, and just to see if the light turns on or not, I'm just slide it in between this sleeve until it touches the metal, and see if my let it stay there for a while. When I turn the key, see if the light comes on. So I'll be right back. Okay, I got a little fed up holding it in my hand. You know how I normally do it, both hands free. I kind of like that a little bit more. Okay, so I touched this wire, which is the emulant one, into the trigger wire. So I'm just going to touch that and leave it in there. And the constant is in the vehicle constant battery. I'm going to put the key in and see if the light turns on. If it does, I'll try to make it so that way y'all see it. Okay, I see it. Alright, so let me close the garage door so y'all can see. Give me a minute. Oops, my trunk is open. I'm going to scrape it up. Let's hope it doesn't, people. Okay. Alright. Now it's nice and dark. The clock is working. If whoever was watching it carefully before, it did move from where it was. So the clock is actually working. I'll show y'all just now to see again how does it, well, I'll show you right now. The only way the clock will work is if it's plugged in and you press these buttons. That's how you know it works. If I press this, it's going to go backwards. There you go. If I press the other one, it goes forward. Alright? That's how I know it's working. I'm going to leave it on, put 8:45, and soon enough you'll see change. But anyway, let's put this key in, turn it, and see the light turn on. Voila. On. Off. On. Off. On. Off. And that's my clock rig up. You don't have to do this. I did it because I'm bored and it's something to do. And I'm gonna permanently put these things in place. It's getting hot in here. Oh yes. I'm gonna use these clips right here, the quick slips, quick splice. I'll use these and permanently put them in there, and that way the clock will always be working with the car off and on. If y'all see it, it didn't move. So I'm gonna put everything back together when I finish all my wiring up for the radio and whatnot, and try to make it look a little cleaner with all these wires hanging all over the place. Alright guys, that's about it. Neaten up my spot down here. Not a bunch of wires hanging around anymore. And no, it did not change from 9 all the way to 6. I actually put the right time. It was 5:22 when I was actually taking this footage. So now it's 39 or 30 something, 40 something. Doesn't matter. Anyway, okay. I'm gonna put the key in and turn it. And well, let me close out the garage door. Sorry again. Alright. So I put the key in. I wonder if I put the light on if it'll come on. No. Anyway. Okay, so I turn the key. Radio comes on. Equalizer comes on. And the clock comes on. Not as bright as I thought it would be, but it's on. Turn it off and see again. See off. On. Off. On. So, yeah, it does work. Looks good to me. I wasn't trying to do a big perfect job or whatever. I could rewire a light into here. Get a blue light to match with this. And hook it up in there. I have a lot of LED lights I could do that with. And that's about it. You know, it's a little thing I've been thinking about for a long time. Putting a clock in here. They have others that has the clock in here, but this one does not. So I decided to do it myself, and this is what I did. So thanks again for watching this video. Like, subscribe if you want to. It doesn't hurt me. I'm just doing it for the fun of it. But take care, and glad you enjoyed the video if you did. Alright?